Welcome to the cheeky bonus. Let's carry on from where we left off. Enjoy.
Stop showing us your nuts.
Oh yeah, Matt, I don't wear trousers on the podcast.
Balls of steel.
It's too hot in the room with all the
Balls of
lights on and
steel.
stuff, so I just don't have I wear shorts now at least, not like the time I just wear my pants and the phone fell off.
That's good.
Anyway, Max was about to tell me how old he was when he first saw The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Enough of your polls.
Holes and underwear and nuts. Am I in the right video?
Yeah, we're talking about horror films.
But
That
I
is a
think I
true horror.
was- That is horrifying. I think it would have been maybe 6 or something like that. Maybe I'm
Oh, 6.
guessing 5, 7. It's a rough estimate, but
I didn't
My
watch it until I was
granny,
in my
she-
late 20s.
Did you say you were 6 or 7 years old when you watched it?
yeah, my granny, she introduced me to horror. She used to buy me loads of like VHSs, like of all.
That's some irresponsible
horror
parenting, man.
She's
It-
insane.
It worked.
I remember my parents going. We went back. I'm Scottish. If you didn't know, we went back to Scotland for a holiday, and my parents went a few doors down to the pub and left me with my gran and grandpa, and they put on a film, something about the devil, and it had like people having to go inside a pentagram like this, and that protected them. And if when they're in the pentagram, all these demons were attacking them. I have no idea what the film was, but it fucked me up for quite a while. I was like,
There's been a
Yes.
recent film on that, by the way. I can't think what it's called, but they go into it's like sand-made pentagram. It's like
But-
made out of sand, and once they get out of it, they can get grabbed. But once they're in it, they're fine.
yeah, that's the safety net. But I saw The Exorcist. I just left school, I think, so I must have been 15, 16. Oh no, I wasn't. Remember my cousin I mentioned a few episodes ago, who I had a fight with martial arts wise, and he beat the shit out of me with a dog leash. That guy. He's got
That's
all
got a
these.
sketchy background, by the way.
Anyway,
It was a form of bonding.
he had all these banned horrors because obviously The Exorcist was banned for a long time. You couldn't get hold of it, and he had a copy, and he gave it to me. And my parents are quite liberal, they're quite chilled, and they said you can watch any film you want, but do not bring The Exorcist into our house. That was the rules of my house, because my mum's Protestant, my dad's Catholic, and I don't think that neither of them are that religious. But my mum and dad remember when The Exorcist came out in the 70s, and the fact that when you went to the cinema, there was ambulances there taking people who had fainted. So also it was much more a religious time back in the 70s, and people reacted really badly to it, and they had to carry people out of the cinema in stretchers because they'd fainted, because they believed that exorcism was real.
Wow.
It wasn't a horror film to them. This is
It was a
their
documentary.
religion. This is what could happen, and it really fucked them up. So my parents didn't allow me to have it. I had it. I named it something else on the VHS, but I had it, and I took it to my friend's house when I was like 15, 16, and we invited a couple of girls over, and we had an evening of a few of us watching it, and we thought we'd scare everyone. I was the only one that had watched it. The boys hadn't seen it either. The girls definitely hadn't, and everyone just shat themselves. It was a really weird experience. The girls had to tap out and go out to another room and go to the toilet, and when they came back, we all hid and then scared them and probably traumatized them for life.
Can you remember the first people to do that and genuinely scared like a nation? Was when they broadcast War of the Worlds on the radio, and people legit thought there was like an alien invasion. When they
Yeah.
did Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. And the other time was you've probably
Ghost
seen this
Watch.
one, Max. The Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Where when they previewed it, when they did the screening, I believe in France, Paris maybe, the director got arrested after this main screening, and they put him in prison because they thought he'd act. For one, they genuinely murdered like a big turtle on a thing. That was a real thing they did, which was a bit of a no-no. But there's a scene where girls like to a spike, and they thought they'd actually killed someone. So the police were waiting for him, and they arrested him after the preview, and then he went
Right,
to
yeah.
prison for a little bit. But yeah, War of the Worlds was the original.
But did you see
Didn't
Ghost
people-
Watch though?
Go on, Max. You okay?
Oh no, I was just going to say that the War of the Worlds thing. I remember reading that people were actually killing themselves, like they were suicides, because people actually
It was
thought that was
terrifying.
real.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a great show. I've got the album, but I've seen the show twice, and I can imagine as a thing to listen to on a radio as a news report would be like. By the way, if you want to watch the worst film ever made, ever, the original War of the Worlds film. It's from like
It's
the
pretty
50s, I
bad.
think.
Yeah, it's rough. You
It's
see
so bad. There's
strings
like
and everything, and
to kill people, like a little light beam goes and people just disappear. They're just gone. When they've clearly cut and just got them to move, and then it's just like boom.
So
The Tom
Ghost,
Cruise one's brilliant. I love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, the
really
original
cool,
from like
that.
must be
Warrior.
from the 50s or the 40s is so bad.
sorry to interrupt the show. Just a little reminder to say, check out our social media handles and follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you're not already. If you enjoy this podcast, why not share it with friends? And better yet, rate the show. Thanks for your time. Now, let's get back to the mayhem.
Watched that so many times.
Watch on the BBC, though, they had so many people phoning in worried about the camera crew, Annika Rice, because basically it was like...
What's this on?
I think it's Annika Rice.
It was a helicopter crash.
What-
No. I'm
What's-
pretty sure it's Annika Rice. So basically, they've got a really well-known host that goes to this house that's been like these kids have been possessed in this farm. You got like a celebrity presenter goes there with a camera crew, and then loads of crazy shit happens on screen, and it's like famous for this. Like if you ever get a chance to watch Ghost Watch,
Wait, are you
And then
thinking of the woman that
basically-
used to present Blue Peter because she does the ghost hunting with Derek Acora? I
it
can't
might be.
think of her name, but she used to do Blue Peter. Oh, sorry?
Yvonne.
It might be, but
No.
basically,
I don't-
She did. She was a Blue Peter presenter that then became one of these ghost hunters
but the
with
way
Derek Acora.
But mate, the way it ended, the reason why people kicked off, it was so scary. One of the camera guys is like looking in a cupboard. It's almost like Blair Witch before it was Blair Witch. This thing falls down, hits the camera person, it cuts to black, and then it went to the adverts, and then it never showed credits or anything. So everyone was like, oh, and it was the bravest move they ever did because it didn't like credit any of the people. So
Yvette Fielding.
it didn't feel like an actual film or TV series. It felt like a documentary where the crew had just been taken over by like possessed demons. Like it was crazy.
Bold ideas like that are the most memorable.
Yeah, Dev, have you seen? I think it's might be 2 years old now. Do you guys watch Inside Number 9?
I haven't got around to it
No,
yet.
not
no.
heard that.
What the BBC thing with the guys from Legal Gentlemen? They've
Didn't know
done
they
2
still did stuff.
episodes. It's all not all horror. Some of it's just comedy, but the majority have got a horror edge to it. And the last couple they did were really, yeah, I've seen that. The last couple that I've seen were really bad. What they did is normally they introduce it as Inside Number 9. Here's an episode, and then it starts, and you know there's going to be a twist. It's like M Night Dib Dab, but it's that sounds racist if you don't know what I'm on about. Drew cannot pronounce M Night Shyamalan, so we just make up. Stop showing us that.
Craig Charles is in it, basically.
Words.
There's a running gag where we just say M Night Jibber Jab or M Night Shawaddy Waddy because Drew constantly forgets what his actual name is.
And I just realised Dib Dab sounds racist, but it was Dib Dab this week, not anything else. Anyway, but the point is, this Inside Number 9, they do these couple of things that are really good, and as I said, they normally introduce the episode. The last 2 they did one with what's his name, Lee Mack, and it opens up as a genuine quiz show. It's a new quiz show with Lee Mack, and they do a normal quiz show for 20 minutes. And then at the end, something goes wrong with the mechanism and someone's head explodes. And you've not been told you're watching Inside Number 9. The characters that play the people normally are not in it. It's done as a genuine quiz show. And then someone's head explodes because there's a violent action going on. And then you realize it's a fake, but it freaks you out. And they've done 2 of those, and you watch them going, I thought this was Inside Number 9. What the fuck am I watching? And then something weird happens. You're like, shit. But I'm into it, and a lot of people are just going to be turning the TV over.
I've never heard
and
of it.
go, what the fuck is this?
That will lead me into 2 things I want to bring up, actually. First thing, though, I want to say, looking at arachnophobia, how rude is this of Google, right? These are the actors, right? So you've got
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
Daniel.
It's not a great photo.
No, but
Very
that's a
good one.
now photo, right? Yeah, normal. Look how rude that is of that woman. She's still alive today, yet they found a photo of her. The only photo they could find was taken in like 1936.
But that's flattering. That's not rude.
Speaking about new movies, Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, Max, have you seen that?
No, but I do plan to watch it this week so I can review it. So I've heard a lot
Yeah,
of
we won't
really
say
good
anything
things
about it,
about it.
but fantastic. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's so clever. It's essentially, you could almost call it a found footage program.
Oh,
Well, that's the
technically.
point of it, yeah.
But
Yeah.
honestly, the end, just the whole thing is brilliant.
Don't say anything.
La,
He's
la,
about
la,
to
la,
watch
la,
it.
la, 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 la.
But you've seen from the trailer, it's very stylish. It's very cool. It's very 70s. It's sick.
I like that.
Very
It's
clever.
Stylistic. I like that.
It's
yeah,
something
even,
very
even if you
different.
don't like, even if you don't like the ending, or even if you don't like aspects of it, you'll walk away and go, "Shit, that was cool. I didn't like the ending, but that was fucking
I didn't
cool."
think there was any aspects I didn't like. I liked the ending because it kind of
I like
left
the ending. I'm just saying, if he doesn't, it's still a good film overall.
And there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and it's more of a loosely based horror/comedy, which is also one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Have any of you seen Garth Marenghi's Dark Place?
Yes.
No.
It's like a deliberate bad horror comedy set in. It's the guys from the IT crowd and all that sort of
You say
stuff. But
IT crowd.
before they did all that, and it's set in a hospital, but it's like deliberately bad. So when they pan out from the hospital, it's clearly like a cardboard box with like drawn on windows and stuff. And like there's bits where they're in a graveyard and like you see like cardboard sort of gravestones just like blowing in the wind. Or there'll be a bit where a cat will come on set, but you'll see someone's hands like throwing it.
Yeah,
And it's like, and there'd be
Cat
bits. When you said head blowing up, it reminded me of it.
very
But
tongue in cheek.
there's a bit where a guy goes mental and his head blows up, but you can clearly see it's a blatant paper mache head before it blows up. It's like
Yeah,
it's so.
it's really
It's on
funny.
Channel 4 app. It's so funny. It's all about this possessed hospital with all these like ghoulish, and there'll be like things. Oh, get
Fuck's
that.
sake.
Things like that.
I was about to say the thing you're about to say is that when we're talking about poltergeists, and when you saw strings and stuff in the old show, they deliberately have
There'll be
strings
like a
and things
plate
pointing
going
out,
round, and there'll be like an obvious.
and you'd see a hand doing it as well. Drew, we haven't seen a poltergeist in your room for a while.
I've got
Yeah,
several
I
in
know,
mine,
yeah.
just throwing my phone everywhere.
Have a poltergeist?
Really
But yeah,
lame.
as
really.
a comedy
Terrible.
program, it's one of the best. It's Richard Ayoade, all that lot. It's so funny.
I was
Talking
looking
about
for
Poltergeist, though, that's a
what, go
classic.
on, then.
What
Get
we
a hat
thought? No,
from.
what were your thoughts on Poltergeist?
Poltergeist. Yeah,
The original?
fucking amazing.
Yeah,
With the, I
Has
think
anyone
they should clean
seen
their
that?
swimming pool.
Has anyone seen that?
No.
what?
And I can't even say that.
Cover looked epic though.
Anthropogynous, Anthropogynous the Beast. It's been retitled The Grim Reaper.
That's a good
That
move.
was the first. That was the first
Yeah.
film I saw that was. Have you seen it?
No.
No.
Matt, have you seen that?
Who sort of said, have you
It's-
seen Anchor? I'd be like, no.
It's like Terrifier. It was the first. It was one of the when I remember in Andover there was the VHS sales guy. Like this is back in the 90s where you'd go and get some dodgy videos. You'd go up to the video guy and go, "What have you got on down below?"
Knock off
and just-
Nigel.
Give him a few quid and get some dodgy DVDs that exist.
Kev, do you know
dodgy
the adverts
VHS.
that funded terrorism back in the day? It definitely didn't fund terrorism, did it? Them adverts that used to come at the beginning of the video with
No,
like the devil and
but-
stuff.
But this film was great, and it's got all the horror stuff you'd think from Terrifier. It's like there was a scene. I don't know if I should say this on the podcast because
Say
this
it.
sounds really horrific. No, I can't say it.
Say it.
But it's got gut eating, and there's a scene it's in between Serbian film and Terrifier. It's in between. Have you seen Serbian film, Max?
Yeah.
Do
You
it.
said that so calmly, like, yeah.
We've mentioned a Serbian film loads now at this point.
No, only a couple. We've not discussed it, and I don't want to discuss it. But
Great first movie if you're on a first date, by the way. Watch a Serbian film.
James recommended that film to a girl.
She didn't
Like,
speak to me
deliberately.
for 3 days.
I wonder why.
But
3
she was
days
like
is
proper
generous.
into horror, so
Like
I'd
3.
recommend. I went a bit down with like the weird horror, like Poughkeepsie Tapes, August Underground, Possum, like the real sort of B-rated movies. And she like was cool with all them. And then after watching Serbian film, she literally didn't speak to me for 3 days. So she was a colleague, a work colleague, and she was like, "No, shut no, no, no."
She's like, "You've got bad
There's
taste
a
in
limit,
films."
and that is the limit, I think.
Yeah, that reminds me of there's a B, yeah, like I say, B movie. It's actually on YouTube, the full movie, and it's called Headless 2015. Has anyone seen it?
Checking it.
Headless.
It's one
It's
of
on
the movies I can't
YouTube.
really get into because it's it's well very
This one? Oh, it's gone. It started. That one.
Found
Fuck.
Like, it just
Keep
keeps laughing.
starting. It's
yeah,
like,
it's like
Glasses.
the picture is like a red skull. If I
it.
recall.
Oh
oh,
yeah,
that one. Oh, I moved too quick.
a kid with like a skull
That
mask
one.
as well.
Yeah, that's it. I just give that a watch. It's pretty messed up if you're into really messed
One.
up horror movies.
Oh, it says
1 minute.
watch now free of charge on some random site I've never seen. This little yellow
Yeah.
tick. What is that yellow
Wait a minute.
tick site? What is that?
I have no. It's
Never
on
seen
YouTube. It's on YouTube. The
I've
full
never
movie's on
seen that
YouTube
come up
itself.
before.
Max, is it 1 minute 30 seconds long?
No, no, it's like full over an hour. Just
Oh, I thought it was a really.
A
Literally
really short
something
horror
off.
film.
Plex. It's on the app Plex, which is what that
Yeah,
yellow
I'm
thing
genuinely
is.
surprised they never removed it. Especially when you watch it and you're like, "The fuck am I watching?" It's really messed up.
I scrolled down and saw Harry Potter in a very compromising position.
That's
One-
Swiss Army Man. That's brilliant.
James.
Yeah.
That's Harry Potter when he's got his wand stuck.
Harry Potter and the magic wand.
Like
Oh,
the
Christ.
guy
By the
from
way,
Come Down With Me.
the IMDb of this headless thing is in this lost slasher film from 1978. A masked killer wages an unrelenting spree of murder, cannibalism, and necrophilia, but when his tortured past comes back, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's messed up.
We're watching that tonight.
Of course you will.
Let me know what you think.
We're going to get the Ben and Jerry's in a minute and watch that.
Nice.
Brilliant. Oh, that's a different tangent, right? So this is a weird question because I don't know how to answer it because I don't know if I know it really without saying Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm trying not to say Jamie Lee Curtis,
We've
but
said it twice at this
who
point.
is so Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Yeah.
Right. Who do you think is your favorite final girl? Because that's now a genre on its own.
Jamie Lee
The
Curtis.
last girl standing.
Probably
It's never a bloke, is it?
Sidney Prescott, probably.
Yeah, we were saying earlier that on the
Ooh.
last one, the Saw films are the ultimate, like, sort of girl power films, aren't they, really?
Was that her
Yeah.
from Scream?
Yeah. That was her name, Sidney Prescott.
Yeah, Neve Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I
Yeah.
think he's badass.
Or Ripley. I think Ripley from Aliens. She's badass.
Yeah, she's badass. Probably the most
Yeah.
forgettable final girl is probably the one from the original Friday the 13th, Alice.
Yeah,
Oh.
forgotten already.
Exactly.
Not class.
Classic shout.
Quite brutal.
Yeah.
So,
I think the new final girl is probably going to be like Sydney Sweeney. I think she's going to start
General
doing some.
Ortega.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney's going to go down the rom-com route. General Ortega's going to go down the dark route.
No,
Because she
I
started
think
in You, which was phenomenal. And now she's in Scream. She's doing all these. She does that dark one with Martin Freeman. She goes down the sort of she did Wednesday. She goes down a dark route. Sydney Sweeney, I think, is on the up for rom-coms.
Wednesday was brilliant, to be honest, for that type of program. It
Yeah,
was
Sydney
really
Sweeney's
good.
going to go down the rom-com thing. Whereas
no,
General
she-
Ortega's going to stay dark, I think.
See, that's the interesting thing about Sydney Sweeney. That film, I've still not watched it yet because I missed it in the cinema. I'm really annoyed. What's the Nun film? It is
Imaginable,
immaculate.
immaculate. Yeah.
So that was a film that she got the role. Well, She tried to get the role for it 10 years ago, and she wasn't good enough, and they didn't do it. And then the film didn't get made, and now she's like killing everything. She is the producer, and she got that film made that she didn't get. She got people back in and said, I want to make the film that I was rejected for, but now I need to be 26 rather than 16 doing it. And she got it made. She's the
I
producer
just
on it.
can't see her going
she
down a
fucking
dark
mic drop
route
moment.
with
She
her,
didn't
the way she is and the way she
No, no,
acts.
no.
I think she's
She didn't
going
accept the
rom-com
role.
central.
No. Rom-com is what she got employed to do. And she went, yeah, I'll do that. Immaculate is what she wanted to do. That's her first film
Yeah.
that she went, I'm making this. I want to do this.
Jenna Ortega's got a like dark sort of thing about her now. She's only
Yeah.
really
That
been in
look.
dark stuff. But
Very
Jenna
gothic-y.
Ortega's flip side, she's got the same flip side as Daniel Radcliffe, is where they look very young. So it's very hard to believe them. As like when I watched The Woman in Black, I found it
That was quite good.
it was good, but I found it
Great movie.
extremely
Great movie,
difficult.
bad ending.
Yeah, Daniel Craig as an adult with a 10-year-old child just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Not Daniel
Yeah.
Craig, sorry,
No.
Daniel Radcliffe. It was like the only good film I've seen Daniel Radcliffe in. And
Do not say it. Do not, because Daniel Radcliffe is amazing. Everything he's done since Harry
well, I'm
Potter
going to
has
say
been
one film that I think he's amazing in, and he's not English in it either.
hundreds. He's done so many good
Guns
films.
Akimbo.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't seen
Such a
that.
fun film.
He's done tons of great stuff.
He's
Are
great.
you
Yeah,
kidding me?
in the
He's done
what is
some
it,
pretty
Army Man.
diverse things as well.
But
Yeah.
he's got
Like
that sort of gene where he looks very young, so it's very hard to take him serious as like an
I
adult.
get it. That image I showed you where he's swallowing the thing, that's Swiss Army Man, where he plays a dead guy for a whole film. That's
Amazing.
really good.
Amazing film.
Drew, why do you
I've-
like you're kind of just peeping around camera at the moment?
Huh?
He's
You're
looking
like
at his
kind
phone.
of peeping around the camera.
What do you mean?
There you go. That's
I'm
better.
trying to hide. I'm trying to hide my costume
Have
rail.
you seen Escape from Pretoria?
I'm trying
Not
to hide
seen
my
that yet.
costume rail that you always talk
Meaning
about.
it's on my list.
Have you seen that?
No, but it's on my list to see. I have a long
Oh.
list of things I have to see.
It's so good. It's one of those films that doesn't look like anything you'd be bothered with, but it's so good. And Daniel Radcliffe is so amazing in it. He's also in this film Imperium, where he
That's
goes
fu-
undercover as a
that's
Nazi.
amazing.
Oh, I think I know that one. Yeah.
It's extreme, but it's really good. Seeing him
brilliant.
act tough, and then the camera pans from the car, and it's just a normal sized man driving a car, and then the camera has to pan down to Daniel Radcliffe because he is pretty fucking small. But he's in so many good films, and he's great in all of them. Did you see the film Horns? That's a horror, sort of.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I do want to see it. I've been meaning to see that.
That's good as well. Again, it's another film which is like not a B movie, but it's not a main heavy hitter. It's like a smaller one, but he does brilliantly in everything. I can't believe we're doing a horror episode and we're talking about Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, so, question.
Well, his acting was horrific back in the day, and then
It says a question.
Pretty rough. So, each of you individually, what is the one horror movie that you watched that you hated and genuinely annoyed you by the end of it?
As in,
where
like,
you were
thought it was bad or like too much.
yeah. So a movie that you genuinely hated, like a horror movie you watched and you just kept looking, you're watching by the time it ended, you were just furious.
There's only
That's
one
not-
film I've ever turned off halfway through, and it was a film called Ouija. As in, like Ouija board.
Oh, yeah.
I turned it off 25 minutes in because it was like those actors wouldn't even get a job on Hollyoaks. It was so bad. It made no sense. I was
Wait,
like, I
wait,
can't
wait,
even
wait.
watch it. Or
James, don't offend Drew. Drew was on.
ouch.
were you in that film?
I wasn't in that
Drew was
film.
Hollywood.
I was in Hollyoaks.
He was in
Yeah,
Hollyoaks,
but
yeah.
briefly.
But I'm not saying Hollyoaks. The other film would be Halloween H2O because I haven't seen it since I was little, but I remember watching it even when I was like 12 or something and thinking this is the stupidest film I've ever seen. I hated it. I thought it was awful. They're probably my two.
What made you
find-
think it was awful?
I just remember thinking it was absolute crap. Like, and I haven't watched it since. I haven't watched it for probably like 20 years. But I remember buying it on or renting it on VHS and watching it and being like, this is the stupidest like worst film I've ever seen. It was so like Hollywood and like borderline comedy. I was like, it's just awful. And even at a young age, I was like,
Yeah.
this is crap. Like, but yeah, recently Ouija in the last probably 5 years, I had to turn it off because it was so bad. I was like, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, I think one of the best horror films is The Shining, but one of the worst films, I think that's difficult because there's so many bad ones. I was tempted after Terrifier to put on, because it suggested next films after you watch a film on Prime.
What did it
And it's
possibly suggest?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Ooh.
And I thought, Max, have you seen that?
No, but I will eventually have to get to it. But I'm trying to put it off.
Apparently,
Yeah.
the sequel is really good.
No, it's not. No. Shut up.
I'm not watching either. It's because Disney lost the IPs to Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse,
Oh yeah, they've done a Mickey Mouse one.
but only Steamboat Mickey, not actual Mickey Mouse. So you will probably see a Mickey Mouse horror film coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Drew, what's a bad film you've seen? Bad horror film?
I was about to say Killers of the
struggling.
Flower Moon, but that's not in the horror genre.
Not
So
horror?
no,
And Killers of the Flower Moon's an epic. Are you kidding me?
I don't know, man. I struggled. Anyway,
You're
horror.
a bad Scorsese fan.
I love Scorsese, man. I just didn't. I wasn't
Really
in
not?
love with the flowers.
Really not?
I wasn't in love with the flowers of the moon. I tell you a really good horror, like, because it's really hard to think
That's
of.
the opposite of the question.
I know, it's not. It's the opposite of the question. But Ready or Not was a feckin' masterpiece.
Ready or Not?
What?
Is that
What's
a
that?
Fuji song?
No,
Ready or not? Here
Ready
I
or
come.
Not is fantastic.
Gonna find you.
Max, you must know the one, right? Where
Drew's
they're playing like
favourite horror
hide and
actor
seek
is
in that
Praz
house,
Michel.
and
Yeah, no, I do. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, I thought Ready or Not was fantastic.
I've got that on my list. That's the people that did. Oh fuck! He does another film recently. Abigail. It's the guy that does Abigail.
Oh wow, okay.
I did
So-
mention a horror film I really liked. So I'm saying that I really like Green Inferno.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one yet.
It's about these bunch of like hippies that go to the rainforest and chain themselves to trees and end up all these cannibals come and get them. It was an old film that got remade, and a remake is actually really good. And also, Cannibal Holocaust obviously is up there with horror.
I'm just googling worst horrors ever, and there's some really weird names
And
coming
Halloween,
up.
obviously, because of just the soundtrack.
And here's a weird film. Has anyone ever seen a film called They Saved Hitler's Brain?
Brilliant. No,
They
but I
saved
wanna watch
Hitler's
it.
name.
Brain.
Oh,
Ring.
okay.
Right. So to answer your question, I've very rarely seen a film I've needed to turn off because I'm not OCD or anything, but whenever I watch a film, I will watch it to the end. And if I've seen film number 1 and a sequel comes out, even if I didn't enjoy number 1, I'll probably watch number 2. The only films I've not continued with is things like Fast and Furious, because that's a pile of shite. But even if it's shit, I will probably watch most horrors to the end. And I think that's the difficulty with horrors. Sometimes you don't know it's shit until the end because you think, oh, it's not great, but there might be a good payoff coming up. So I think I've watched most horrors, even bad ones, to the very end. So yeah, I
Probably
can't think of a
thinking now.
single horror I've turned off or been extremely angry about, because I think with horrors, quite a lot of them are a letdown. It needs to be something special to stand out, I think, with horrors.
There was one horror film I watched about like this mold that was like this. Suppose it was a haunted mold, which I thought was a bit.
Was that
This film is.
Asbestos, the movie?
It might as well have been.
Are you? Oh,
And
I thought you were talking
it affects this old woman, and these two girls come back to visit their mum, and they're like, "Oh, mum's a bit strange, isn't she?" And she's like, "Yeah, but it's just her age." And then it's like you find out there's like mold growing behind the walls, and she's just molding. She's like a soggy cornflake.
a moldy mum. My mum's moldy.
Yeah, that was an awful film.
I got any sweat bang from my mum.
Yeah, and I was watching it thinking, surely if they just clean the walls, then this film is over. Like if they just got some Viacal and just cleaned the place, then the mum's all right, everything's good. You know,
Drew, just it's a myth. Just warm soapy water and a cloth gets rid of it.
That's
you
what
don't
I've heard.
need stuff.
Or I've heard
Back on
grapefruit
target,
as
as
well.
far as
You
good
cut a
ones go,
grapefruit in half.
the
and you
original
rub
Texas
grapefruit.
Chainsaw Massacre
I
with
love that
just
movie.
the scene at the dinner table with the woman at the end. No, when they're like just torturing her and everything just keeps flicking round and stuff,
Yeah, they
and then
put
she
the
goes
head
mental,
over-
doesn't she?
when they put the head over the bowl and they get the old man to hold the hammer and he
Yeah,
just
the original one.
he
It's
just holds it and goes,
Yeah,
it's a
there's
lot.
something
In it.
about
Then when she's in
something
that
about
van at the
whenever.
end, just screaming.
Can I just say, I was
Yeah.
looking at worst horror films ever, and then Lady Bird came up. I'm like, that's not a horror film. Like, what?
What is that
I
film?
think some people are confusing. Like,
nothing to do with horror.
I
think
think
it was
people have
just
just got it a
horror.
bit wrong.
But no, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre has got to be one of the greatest horror
What
films.
about yours, Max? What's your worst and best?
It's a lot of boxes.
The one I watched recently that genuinely just pissed me off for like the whole night was the Babadook. If anyone's seen it,
The Babadook.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Duck.
I enjoyed that, man.
The kid, it's the kid, pissed me off throughout the whole movie. I hated children by the end of this movie.
You wanted the kid to get taken by the Babadook.
That's
Yes,
a bad kid.
I was
Even
rooting
stuff.
for the damn thing. Like,
Bad
oh,
kids
get it.
ruined
Yes.
stuff.
Well, yeah. Again, Terrifier 2 was good, even though it was ridiculous. But the boy was so bad at acting, it took me out every time. She was average, but the boy was so bad at going.
Give him credit. How old was he? 6?
He wasn't that old. No, he's older than that. He was like 14 or 15. But every time he was scared, he went, there's someone scary. And just,
Yeah, but the budget for that film was like £8.50. So
oh, no, Terrifier 2 was the most profitable film in 2022.
what?
It was $250,000. It was £250,000. It made over £10 million. It had a gross profit of 390% profit.
Wow. Did you
Damn.
hear in the end that I think what was the Marvel film that came out? Black Adam lost like over 100, like $200 million.
Even I didn't watch that.
I
What
think
a
it
pile of-
lost like hundreds of millions of dollars. That's
Ooh.
insane, isn't it? I've never watched it because I don't know who Black Adam is, but it lost
No.
hundreds of millions.
That was Dwayne Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah, like,
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch.
it's like a superhero. What kid knows who Black Adam is as a character? It's like Shazam, like Shazam.
But that's the one that had
what it is.
Pierce Brosnan in as well. Like, he was like, I'm really excited about this film. And
Unless Pierce Brosnan is like Goldeneye, like he's got no business being in the film.
a good two. Just I was looking through. I watched the 50th anniversary of The Wicker Man at the cinema.
Ooh. Do you know
Actually,
what? That's another one where the remake with just
No,
we've
I've
been-
not watched the remake.
we've been having this conversation for weeks now, saying that what's he called? The actor
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage
Cage.
has never made a good film. The Wicker
He's made
Man
loads
might
of
be
good
the only
films.
one.
No, he's made loads of great films.
No, he's not. He's made
Dreams
so many bad
of
films.
Angels.
was amazing.
National Treasure.
Ghost
National
Rider.
Treasure. That was a great film last year.
Oh,
Gone in 60 Seconds.
As horrors go, did we all see, did you see that, Max?
That was brutal.
Yeah, I actually
Evil
thought it
Dead
was really,
Rise?
really good.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Fucking
I
great.
felt so sorry for the mum, though, because she's just trying to get on with her life, and this thing just possesses her in the lift.
actually, have you seen the film?
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Have you seen
What?
the film with Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix called 8mm?
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
dark.
Yeah.
Brilliant
That's a bit-
film.
Yeah, snuff films.
That is a
Mate,
good
that's written
movie.
by Andrew Kevin
It's
Walker as
adorable.
well.
How do you
that's the
know
guy
that off
that
the
did
top of your
Seven.
head?
8mm, I love it. I've seen that a million
But
times.
Andrew, whatever you just said, how do you know that?
Andrew
Oh.
Kevin Walker, because he's an amazing writer. That's like, he wrote Seven. Like, he's a master.
As Max, as a bit of background, Drew is a actor
Actor.
/ voice actor. So if he comes up with random things you've never heard, that's probably why.
Yeah, look,
Wow.
boom, Andrew Kevin Walker.
He was a
Um,
detective in Hollyoaks.
Oh, and Max, have you seen X?
I have, yeah. That was Interesting. I enjoyed it, but
So-
it was interesting.
So Mia Goth, and obviously that's got thing in it. What's the girl we mentioned
Oh.
earlier?
See, because I don't want to sound like Kevin. That's why I want to know my stuff.
James, what's the girl
Go.
we've just been talking about?
I'm gonna let you remember it. You'll remember.
Anna Taylor.
No. Jenna
No.
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. Yeah, so X has got Jenna Ortega's first film with Mia Goth. But Mia Goth, she is in. So you need to watch this because it's the sequel. Where did it go? I thought it was
Wait.
closer than this.
Which
Pearl.
one was it? Oh, Pearl.
So watch Pearl. It's much more violent and it's a better film than X, but it's the sequel to it and it's a prequel. So you know in X, the bad person is the little old lady. She's the psychopath. So Pearl is that little old lady when she was young,
Oh.
and it's played by Mia Goth. So Mia Goth's in that film and dies, and then she's in the prequel as the little old lady. And in X, that little old lady that runs around, that is also Mia Goth in makeup.
Wow.
And then there's the new film coming out. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, Maxine with 3 X's.
No, I haven't seen the trailer. I tend to avoid trailers these days because they give way too much away.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Well,
Me and Drew are under the understanding that Kev works for A24 Films because he promotes them on every single bloody podcast we do. So I think he's a shill for A24 Films.
So yeah, but the new film Maxine
Didn't
is
deny it.
He's a
He's
double
also,
agent.
yeah, so A24.
this is the new film that's coming out in about 1 or 2 months' time.
Who produces it, Kev?
Incredible. What?
Who produces it? What company?
It might be A24.
Yeah, there we go. Couple of quid in your pocket.
But they do the unique stuff, you know. They do the cool shit, man.
They do the good shit.
Anyway, we should probably wrap this up. This has been the longest episode we've done ever.
Congratulations, Max, for being in the longest episode.
Has anyone got anything to add before we sign off? Or anything more to add? No.
Guys, because this episode is so long, will we do it in 2 parts, like one of those movies? Part 1 and part 2? Or...
Nah.
No? Just give them the whole 90 minutes.
Shebang. Oh, and Max, if you want, once I've downloaded it, edited it, well, there's no real editing. I just throw a few things in, and I will email it to you. And if you want to post it yourself as well as a full episode on YouTube or whatever, feel free. We'll do it as like a collaboration, a Maxwell King Ragewell collaboration.
I'm great.
Shift delete.
Shift delete. And you can add it. You can edit it as well if you want to. If you want to add anything on full permission. If you want to do any weird shit or intros or something.
Not weird shit. Like,
What kind of weird shit?
If you want to put a Jason mask on Kevin, or
You know
what's
what's
that? 'Cause that'll probably up our views. Because look at it.
Okay, when you watch it, you'll understand why the beginning was weird. We had a cool thing, and James didn't commit.
Well,
If James committed,
Damn
when you
James.
popped off,
Yeah.
it would have been funnier. But James is a loser.
I think the Gruffalo let him down, literally. So
Fucking Gruffalo, attached to a book.
fucking
Anyway.
Gruffalo, yeah.
fucking
Right.
Of course,
Gruffalo. If
that's
we've learned
the
anything,
fucking
that is
Gruffalo.
that's the sign off.
Fucking Gruffalo.
Fucking Gruffalo.
It's going to be called Lack of Gruffalo / Max King. 'Cause
Gruffalo.
James didn't
It's been
commit.
a pleasure to talk to you, there, Max. Nice to meet
Lack
you.
of
You too.
Gruffalo, the maximum of Max King, because this is the longest episode.
Drew says things like that sometimes.
We put the max in maximum, you know. So
Oh, I
you
like
put
it.
the max in
You know,
maximum.
there's a bit of wordplay with my name. The maximum length.
There you go. There you
No,
go.
sounds a bit
He's
weird.
been thinking about that for the last hour and a half.
Who
That's why he's
has?
been off camera just jotting notes down.
Yeah, like, how can I?
We didn't even mention the fact that Drew's wearing his Tales of the Nuke t-shirt. Cool t-shirt,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With a shirt.
Wait, is
Cheers,
it
bro.
time? Is it
Thank you,
time?
mate.
This hasn't happened for a while.
Oh, have you got
Pull
toilet
out some
paper? there?
mouthwash or
Got
toothpaste?
toilet paper.
Oh, fuck.
Life in pieces.
Do you know what annoys me? That's my photo. I don't get a credit in the bloody book.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's my photo.
Yeah, but
And
Yeah,
who
but
gets
on the back it does say Kevin Scully is shit at photography, so that's a bit
no, but
harsh.
technically, the he's created it based on your
Look what
photo,
he's
so you
found
wouldn't be
inside
like,
it. Look what he's found inside it. Free
Done some
book
digital
stamp.
shit.
no, man, he works hard on that. I've got all the breakdowns. I'll show you.
I got
I
a
worked out
bookmark and everything.
for ages to take that photo.
No, I have.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure, Max, and I'll send you the link in the full thing in a few days once it's all done, and I'm sure we'll catch up in the future.
Yeah, sure. We can do this again sometime.
Sounds good, man. And if anyone else to add, or are we cutting this down? We're going. Oh, Max, just so you know, before you go, I'm going to press stop. Don't rush anywhere yet, just in case it takes a minute to upload.
Wait, 2
Okay,
seconds.
so
Yeah, so I'll press stop, but don't disappear anywhere yet. Go on, Drew, what are you trying to show me?
Look, these are the sketches that he did from that book.
This is a white
Good.
light.
good skip.
Can't see
Do you know what I
anything.
mean? So it's like that's
I mean, he had your face there, but he chose to use my specific artistic
my fault,
photo.
though.
Yeah, I
That's my
probably
fault,
wouldn't
because
use
I said-
Juice face either.
I said
Just looking.
I want my face from the
I'm
side.
not, I am not dissing your boy. I'm dissing you for not putting my name in your
I
book.
saw. Yeah, but like in
You
books,
look
they don't
like
say
an extra
they
from the
don't say
Blazing
the
Squad
artwork
right now.
based on the photo by. Like it's,
It's my photo with a bit of blue on it.
dude, it's not, man.
Blue dabba dee dabba die.
We'll settle this in court. We'll settle this in court.
What's the guy's name that did it?
Michael Felton.
Well done,
Michael
Michael
Phelps.
Felton.
Michael
No,
Felton. Yeah, he did this as well. He's an amazing artist. Like,
Phelps does running. Michael Felton rips off my
No, Michael
photography.
Phelps does swimming.
ooh,
Oh, I'm
ouch.
joking. It's a tease. I'm just joking.
Look what you did to James. Look what you did to James.
It's all gone to shit.
You flipped him off.
Right. James, that's a good ending. It looks like a horror film, like
I'm back.
you've just got the phone and someone's about to...
If I went in like found footage films, the phone keeps flying around and stuff.
It's like...
James,
Like
I've got an
the-
idea. Why don't you get your Gruffalo back on your hand and just say goodbye, like, and say thanks for being here, Max.
Oh wait, are we still going?
Yeah.
Yeah, until the...
I was just
Kevin's
turned
waiting
all
for
my
the
lights
perfect
and everything
ending.
on. I thought we'd finished. You idiots.
Well, James, if the Gruffalo could say
Get your
goodbye, that's...
Gruffalo on. James, get your Gruffalo on.
Fucking
You need to
I
do
thought
the
we'd
face.
finished.
do the
No.
voice, and then we'll turn it off.
I
Yeah.
thought what the Gruffalo's voice is. Didn't have one.
Well, he fucking does. It's yours.
We'll just do Bane.
I was born in the dark. You're
No,
mistaken.
Just say goodbye or something. You're such a bell end.
I was born in the dark. Fucking Bane.
Whoa!
Any other voice? Any other voice?
I legit thought we'd finished. That's why it's so dark in here. I thought we turned all the lights off and everything.
It's okay. No one's going to stay on this long.
No,
Just do
they're
a
not.
different voice that's not Bane and say goodbye.
Okay. Bye bye everyone from the Gruffalo.
Bye.
Ta-da.
God, that was
Bye.
long-winded.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for listening to Your Movie Podcast.